Hey guys, what is going on? It's a little different scenery, but it's still going to be a good message. Today's going to be a great day because you say it out of your mouth. Today is going to be a great day. Let's get into today's video. And sorry, I wasn't able to post video yesterday. I was at a track meet, and the Lord has blessed me and not giving me last place. So I did good. I didn't have time to do it, but hey, you get 2 episodes today. One is going to be Heroes of the Faith, and one is just going to be a normal episode. Let's get into it. So, in the Heroes of the Faith, we're going to skip around a bit. We might go to different people. And today, we're going to be talking about David. Now, David is one of the most powerful people in the Bible. Because no matter what people said, no matter what people said to him, what they did to him, he was just such a great leader. So, let's get into it. So, the Philistines were told the Israelites, you send one man to battle us, and we send one man to battle you. So they're going to bring 2 people, one Israelite, one Philistine, they're going to fight. And whoever win, that person who lost would be everyone's slaves. And so Saul, the king, he's like, all right, somebody go out there. Nobody would, because Goliath was the person. And he's like 12 feet tall, huge. Like, just think of a really tall person. That was the person who gave him his weapons. Like, a 8 feet tall guy just gave him the weapons. That's pretty tall, like, already. Like, my dad's 6'4", and I have to kind of look up to see him, okay? But imagine Goliath. Like, he's huge. Like, he's big, he's strong, and it's just, So he came out every day and said, who will fight me? And nobody did. And David's brothers, like, he protected his sheep, no matter what the cost. There was lions and bears. He would get a slingshot, throw a stone, and then bam. That's God right there. God empowered David. Because a normal kid can't just, with a slingshot, fight a lion. No, God empowered David. And David was so strong and so powerful at such a young age. And we could do that too. All we have to do is apply this to our lives. We could be spiritually strong, mentally strong. Doesn't matter. We all have the same power. We have all the same power of what all these Bible characters in the Heroes of the Faith. All you have to do is believe in God and just put your trust in Him and have faith in Him. But we get more to it. David has brothers, and they're going out to help in the fight, and then David's father's like, all right, now you go give them food and stuff because they might be hungry. He goes over there and is like, what's going on? Why is there big huddles? And he's like, well, there's this guy trying to fight us and everybody's too scared. And David is like, all right, I'm going to do it. So he goes up to Saul and says, I want to fight. Everybody was laughing because, just imagine 12, 13-year-old walks up and says, I want to fight a 12 feet tall, scary guy who probably eats an entire cow's worth of steak a day. That's his meal. Just ooh-wee. But Saul had, some problems. He was with God. He had the anointing of God, and then he lost it. And then he would go crazy. And then David would play the harp to soothe him. And Saul is like, I kind of like you, David. You have the anointing. You have this. Go fight him. But first, here's some armor, okay? And David literally says in verse, and quote, I cannot walk with these, for I have not tested them. So David just took them off. And also in some translations, he's like, I don't need this, so... And he chose for himself 5 smooth stones from a brook and put them in a shepherd's bag. He has a little shepherd's bag pouch and a pouch which he had and a sling in his hand and drawn near the Philistine. And Goliath just looked at him and was like, this is a joke. Is this a joke? Is this his armor bearer? Whatever. And then Goliath said, am I a dog that you come with me with sticks? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. I'm like, And then Goliath says, come to me and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field. And so he's like, hey, David, you're cooked. I'm going to get you. I'm going to beat you. Whatever. And David says, you come with me with a sword, a spear, a javelina, and a shield. Javelin. It's like a spear type thing. But I come to you in the name of the Lord your God, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defined. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you and take your head from you. And this day I will give. Okay, that's like stuff they did. I'm gonna skip that part. Then all this assembly shall know that the Lord does not save with the sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. So that was a pretty big roast right there. Like, he said, you come with me in sword and shield, but I come at you with the name of the Lord. That's just like, oh, he got you. And so it also says, the Philistine arose and came to attack David, but he hurried and ran towards the army to meet the Philistines. He pulled out his bag, one of the stones, and got it in the slingshot, and then threw it at it. And then, let me get to it. So the stone sank into his forehead, and he fell on his face of the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and stone, and he was gone. There was no sword in the hands of David. There was no weapon. He didn't have a sword, shield, spear, nothing. He just had a slingshot and a stone. It hit his head and then fell on the earth, fell in the ground. And he was gone. And then everybody was so scared because, like, a 13-year-old just beat up their best guy they had. And we also learned later, which I'll do in a different video, there was like other giants, like Goliath's brothers, that were also tall. Him and his mighty men, people that he brought along, they just beat all of them. And that's still really impressive because it's 3 big, muscular, strong people. And you just like, sling and stone, beating up giants is just, woo! Every time I pray, like, I'm like, if a 12-year-old can slay giants, I can do this track meet. That's what I was praying. I'm like, but hey, I did pretty good. I had a fun time with friends. Power of prayer. Okay. And then people were saying Saul had slain his thousands and David his 10,000. Like, he just totally was just beating everybody. One time, Saul was just trying to kill David. And he's like, David, go kill 100 Philistines and then come back. He's like, okay. He comes back and he's like, have you slain 100? He says, no, I slain 200. He went the extra mile. Even though he was still a teenager, like maybe in his 20s, he was just fighting people, fighting the enemy and coming back and becoming an overachiever. Saul was trying to kill him and said, go kill 100, but that 100 will kill him. He went 200 and he still beat them. David truly had the anointing and power of God. And then Saul just tries to kill David. He says, I will pin David to the wall, and David escaped every time. Like, he tried to pin him down and get him with the spear, but every time he got mad, David would just find a way to get out, because the Lord always has a plan. But Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him, and he had departed from Saul. Because Saul, instead of what the Lord did, he's like, oh, look what I did. Look what I did. And that's why the presence of God left him, because I just thought of a funny thing. In the movie David, like, David was like, I slain Goliath, but it wasn't really me. It was God. He empowered me. And then everybody was congratulating him and says, look at the way he looks at God. And he was like, no, celebrate God yourself. I just thought that was a really funny part in the movie. But instead of David saying, oh, look what I did, he said, no, look what God did. Even though everybody was just so cool and like everybody was like, oh, good job, David, you did so good. He was like, I didn't do it, God did it. And that's just really something about David. Even when God did the miracles, he didn't give it to himself and said, oh yeah, I did this. He said, hey, God did it. And that's what happened. A lot of leaders, like what happened to Saul, he said, oh, look what I did, instead of what God did and God's miracles. Well, guys, it's like a minute or minute too shorter, but that was just really good. I would really recommend you reading the whole story of David. It's just really good and really powerful. It shows you how anybody can do great things for God. How a 12-year-old can slay giants, Philistines, whatever, and that God is truly with him. And he's also with you. He's omnipresent. He's always there for you. Well, guys, I'll see you in the next episode. See you in 2 hours.